Hello, this is a New Holland Ford 555E backhoe. This is the model with the economizer engine, and we're going to show you the solution I came up with to get it to prime. This is the economizer engine. There's no lifter prime pump over here, and the filter assembly is a little bit different than the regular engine. And so the gentleman at the New Holland dealership said that the self-priming, I didn't have to do anything when I changed the filter and cleaned the bowl, but he was mistaken. And while you're at it, change the O-ring that they give you at the or sell you at the dealership from this little rinky-dink thing to like a 107. And to ensure you've got a good seal between the bolt and the top of the bowl assembly. So after trying and just pulling my hair out and checking out some videos and reading some articles, there's no procedure in the manual, the service manual or the owner's manual for priming an economized engine. So come up with this assembly here. So what you want to do is you might want to run a little bit thicker barb fitting. I bought the 1/4 inch because it looked big enough. It's a smooth fit, but it's not a snug fit like a 3/8 probably would be. And these valves, you might try a little smaller valve. The pneumatic section had a little bitty valve thing, and this is just the T fitting that I happen to use. It's in the pneumatic section at the hardware store. You'd probably come up with a little compact, neater assembly if you shop for different parts. And so what we have is a valve coming from the fuel tank, and then the hose going over to the inlet of the bowl assembly, and then that hose goes over to the filter, and then that filter runs over into the fuel pump distributor. So we have a valve here. This is going to remain. This assembly is going to stay on here. So you hook your vacuum generator. I'm using a brake bleeder contraption from Harbor Freight. You hook that hose in here, and you turn that on, and create a vacuum with this valve open and this valve open until you get solid fuel coming out. Then you close this valve, and this valve remains open until it's just either not drawing anything or it's solid fuel coming out, because you want to suck all the air out of the top of this assembly. And if you happen to run it completely dry like I did, you'll want to draw all the air out of at least to the inlet of the fuel pump assembly, and that'll come out in a pretty big slug, maybe a little bit of fuel. I only got about a little over half a quart when I was doing it. I did it twice just to make sure I got all the air out. And then once you know this is closed, this is open, then you close that off, still under vacuum, and then you open that up, and it slings the air, or slings the fuel all the way through. All the bubbles in there are like 4 or 5 times the size, and they'll move around, and they'll just shrink down and draw the fuel right in. And then this engine is made for an ether start. So it shouldn't hurt. It doesn't hurt it, or it's not supposed to. Just spray some ether into the top here. That's the easiest place, unless you want to mess with the fuel or the air filter. And I had to do it. Like I said, mine was completely dry because I was trying to figure out how to self-prime it, like the guy at the dealership told me. And it does not self-prime, and so I ran everything completely dry. So it took about 3 tries to 3 little squirts of ether, a little squirt of ether, try it, and immediately there's a little wisp of black smoke, so I know it was thinking about starting. And then just cycled it a little bit more, stop, spray a little bit of ether in the air intake. It cranked over, a little bit more wisp of black white smoke. And then the 3rd try, it started right up, gave it a good bit of throttle, and it's been running solid and smooth since. And the other thing I did, I don't know if it maybe contributed to some of the issues was I did fill the fuel filter and the bowl up with seafoam, and did the little procedure on their webpage initially. You know, it was when I changed the filter out and this line going to the fuel pump was full, and so when I filled this up with seafoam, it ran for a good while until it didn't, and then it just plain would not start or run if I messed around with the ether or anything to try to keep it running. So I hope that helps you out, because I just got this thing a few weeks ago, and I was very disappointed that you know, I got everything from the dealer and it just didn't work like they said, and I was just frustrated. So hope this helps you out, and have a great day.